So it seems that Apple might actually have plans to make a phone that has both Face ID and Touch ID. But like, why?
Get daily tech news in a way that doesn't suck. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech. Of course, show that gives you all the latest tech news from one geek, that is me, to another that is you. Happy Monday. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hey, before we start, how about a little Christmas giveaway? We are teaming up with our boy Andru Edwards, personally one of my favorite tech creators. If you don't know Andru, you do now. We're teaming up with Andru and with TCL to give away two, count them, two 55-inch TCL 6 Series 4K TVs. They support HDR and Dolby Vision, and they have Roku built in as a smart TV platform. This is already the best TV for the money in 2018, and now we're gonna give it to you for no money. So there'll be two winners. Each obviously will win one TV. The link to enter is down in the description below, along with some other rules, like you gotta be 18, you gotta live in the US, stuff like that. Listen, these are the rules. I didn't make them up. So it's real easy. It's real simple to enter. Again, the link for that is down in the description below. Go enter. Why? What? Would you really miss out on this chance to win a TV, a 55-inch 4K TV? I think not. Merry Christmas. All right, so first story of the day, story numero uno. This is actually a bit from last week, like Friday-ish, but we want to cover it today. Facebook. Today's edition of Facebook f***ed up again. So once again, pretty big leak coming from Facebook. They exposed private photos from up to 6.8 million of you, 6.8 users, to apps that weren't allowed to see the photos, weren't supposed to see the photos. They were allowed to, weren't supposed to. So originally, the apps themselves were authorized to see a limited number of photos from users, but a bug allowed them to see photos that they weren't supposed to have access to. They were just granted access to all of them. So these included photos from people's stories, as well as photos that people uploaded but never posted. Again, photos that you may have uploaded but never posted. This happens because Facebook saves the photo anyway. According to Facebook, this whole thing happened. The exposure occurred between September 12th and September 25th. So they actually discovered the data breach on the 25th, but they did not tell anybody until now. Fuck you, Facebook. God. Now, I don't know if this makes it any better, but according to Facebook, they're going to actually send out notifications to alert you. So if you have been affected, you may receive a notification that, hey, we showed your shit to people. Whoops. Facebook also said that they're going to be working alongside developers to try to delete copies of photos that those developers weren't supposed to have access to. So it's like one of those things where like, hey, yeah, you weren't supposed to see that. Can you just go ahead and delete that? Oh yeah, sure, Mark Zuck. But even that is like almost not enough to keep me on the platform. Like, I'm really considering just fucking burning it all down and leaving. In fact, if you watch this show, then you already know that we have a very strong recommendation for how to manage your privacy settings on Facebook. It's very, very simple. Just head into settings and then you just click this button and then woo, you're fixed. It's all fixed. Oh, hey there, honeybee. Bzz, bzz. The next story is about bees. We can put backpacks on bees. Red alert. We can put backpacks on bees. This is not a drill. The University of Washington has developed a wearable system for bees. A backpack for bees. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, what does a bee have to carry around? They need to pack some honey in the backpack for when they go on long trips. They need to take like some granola bars in case they get a little hungry on the ride there. Nope, actually, it is none of that. In fact, they don't give a fuck. The bee isn't, it's not for the bee. The bee, you carry nothing. This is for humans. The actual use case for these backpacks is to put it on the bee. It has a bunch of sensors in it, and it sends information back to us about the bee. They even feature tiny rechargeable batteries that last like 7 hours. This is the cutest thing I've ever talked about on this show. The backpacks themselves will collect data about like location, as well as temperature, humidity, boyfriend, girlfriend bees. You'll get all that info. I don't know about the boyfriend, girlfriend thing. All the data collected is going to be able to give us a bunch of information about bees and their environment, and all in all, Listen, I'm all for this. Sign me up. If you're a bee, I'm a bee. Know what I mean? Now I can see it already. I see your comments. You're like, John, what is this? This is not tech news. We want to hear about the Galaxy 10,000. Shut the fuck up. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? We got backpacks on bees. Get off my dick. Okay, so last up, Apple has filed a patent that describes a device that has both Touch ID and Face ID in it. Okay, so the patent starts off by describing different problems with 2D face recognition systems that we see a lot in like Android devices. So it goes on to explain why Apple's True Depth camera system for 3D imaging is better, like, you know, for Face ID. But within this patent, we see a backup system. So essentially, like, we'll say Face ID failed, right? Then it gives you the option in this patent to use Touch ID as a backup. Now, obviously, this implies that a device would have to ship with both of those things, Face ID and Touch ID. Now, for the purpose of this patent, Apple has obviously gone ahead and used illustrations of older hardware. So like how they would implement Touch ID, I doubt we'd ever see the home button ever come back if they were ever to do this. It also goes on, however, to mention face recognition within Apple Watches as well. But here's the thing, I would like not look into this too far. Again, this is just a patent, and as we have to do on the show every time we report on a patent, there's no guarantee that we'll ever see this ever in the history of everness. So though they filed the patent, it may never see the light of day. We as consumers may never see this, and that's fine. In fact, I would go as far as to say that we probably won't see it, and that's a good thing. You know, this would have been great. This would have been real great as an option for a sort of transitional period to Face ID, like with the iPhone 10. When they originally rolled that out, this would have been nice. Like, hey, we're implementing this brand new technology. We're very confident in it, but hey, if you don't want to use it, you can also use Touch ID. In fact, we already know that Apple was trying to get Touch ID within that phone, within the iPhone 10, underneath the display, but they couldn't do it in time, and they went all in on Face ID. And Apple, you can't, this is one of those areas where I would really strongly suggest you do not backtrack. Do not backtrack. You were so confident in Face ID, you put all that effort into it, you made it seem like the future. This is it. We no longer need Touch ID. In fact, Face ID is much better than Touch ID. If you're so confident, you went all in on this, do not backtrack. It'll make you look bad. Apple, Timmy, you made your bed. Time to lay your face in it. Literally.
And now, today's sponsor.
Dear adults that are watching this show, the night is dark and full of terrors, and that's why you need security lights. So how about taking a look at the ones from our friends over at Sansi? With so many different LED security lights to choose from the more traditional to the full-on RGB, Sansi has you covered. And right now they're doing a huge Christmas sale, so you could be looking at up to like 60% off. Of course, our special link as well as multiple discount codes are down in the description below, so what are you waiting for? And that's the show. Hopefully you liked it, you learned something. If you did, hit that like button. If you hate my stupid face, hit the dislike button. Of course, if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You like jazz?